Sleeping is a very important part of our lives, or at least I believe it is, even though I don't sleep as much as I should, maybe, and even though my sleeping schedule is not excellent. But today I want to make this video talking about sleep because I was having an argument with a friend of mine regarding not sleeping in the night. Basically, he happens, like many people do, to sleep also in the afternoon. He throws some naps. He naps a little bit in the afternoon. And I just think that's wrong. And he came up with the argument that scientifically, if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, which I used to do, your metabolism requires you to sleep. You get sleepy. Well, I can tell you that that's true to some extent, because when I used to eat, and I still eat a lot too much for the record, but when I used to eat so many carbohydrates, and when I used to eat pasta or rice at lunch, or 3 or 4 breads, or a lot of bread, I used to be sleepy. I would say I used to be reluctant to do things. I used to be lazy. I used to laze around after lunch. And that's true, but you don't need to sleep. I mean, why are you trying to throw in science to justify your pussiness? I'll just label it like that. That's the truth. Basic truth, hardcore truth. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest here. Come on, this is not real. I don't believe that you need to sleep. Never heard of that. Even if you sleep 3 hours per night, which happens to me, I'm not going to say a lot of times, but sometimes, I don't need after a big, it's not an injection. What is it? I will rephrase this one, because it wasn't phrased correctly. Even when I sleep 3 hours per night, and then at lunch I happen to consume a large amount of carbohydrates, even in that case, I don't need to nap. Napping is for babies. Let's just be honest here. Napping is for babies and young children. If you are at least 14 years old and nap, there is a problem with you. I mean, that's not true, but I'm against it. I am against it. Frankly, I am. You don't have a problem, but I'm just against it. And I'm also against using science in order to justify the fact that you nap in the afternoon. Bruv, you're just a pussy. It's not about science. It's about another thing. It's not about science. Let me be totally honest. It's not about science. So this is to respond to a friend of mine. I already responded to him saying basically those things. I mean, he's trying to pull out of his ass this argument through science. But maybe he doesn't know that I'm Dr. AD, also renowned and known as the most formidable and capable doctor on planet Earth. And I have proven that with my immaculate and flawless and impeccable track record with regards to getting sick in the season 2024-2025. I have never gotten sick and I've never worn a coat and never will I wear a coat in freaking Western Europe or America. Imagine wearing a coat in Western Europe. This is another video of Dr. AD who's trying to give pieces of advice for free. Don't nap, because that makes you pussy. Let's just be honest here. That makes you a pussy. Napping in the afternoon and at more than 14 years old makes you a pussy. Frankly, I believe it is. I don't know. I believe it makes you a pussy. I don't know why. It's just me. I'm crazy. So that's the first thing. But throwing science, when I am Dr. AD, guys, we're talking about Dr. AD. No one comes close to such a perfect track record. Never gotten sick, never had a fever, never even had a cold, without ever wearing a coat. When in my class, there were people with coats. There are people with coats now, in mid-April, when it's 25 degrees outside, and people are still wearing coats, and they get sick. No wonder. But we talked about that another time. But now I'm going to throw another argument into the mix. I would argue that not taking naps makes you less prone to getting sick. And people are going to be, how so? I mean, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. How can you correlate taking naps to not getting sick? I mean, this is just crazy. You're just doing mental gymnastics that not even crazy women do when they make excuses for things they did, when they try to blame others. I'll tell you why, guys. If you sleep like a baby all the time, you're gonna be less used to the outside, less used to uncomfortable situations, because you sleep more than average. And that makes you more probable of getting sick. This is the argument. Now, I'll be honest, as a professional, I need to admit, the explanation wasn't great. Let's just be honest, the explanation wasn't great. I need to admit this. The explanation could have been way better. But, on the flip side, or I should say inversely and concurrently, I will also say this, that as much as the explanation wasn't great, it wasn't clear, it wasn't succinct, it wasn't perfect, let's just be honest. But the proof that this works is there. Because I have never gotten sick. And I have never taken a nap. I have taken in my life maybe 4 naps. Maybe 4. And it was when I was really exhausted. And by really exhausted, I mean that I was sleeping 2 hours per night, 3 hours per night, 4 maximum, and training twice a day. So that's when I got naps. When I took naps. But it was maybe, how many times did I take naps in my life? 4 maximum. There are people like this friend of mine who I love, taking naps daily. Not daily. 4 or 5 times a week. 3 times a week. Whatever. Of course he's gotten sick more than me. That's not even a question. That's not even a question. It's not even debatable. He's gotten sick more than me. I'll be honest, it's a very easy achievement because I've never gotten sick this year. So it's not that hard to be a person that has gotten sick more than me. I mean, that's not a hard one. But, napping is wrong. I just think it is. And I am the proof that it is wrong, objectively speaking. As I said, never got sick. And I'm against napping. That's what babies do. And I've said this in this video and I'll say it again. I think napping makes you a pussy. That's just my opinion. And you would say, what is this opinion based on? And I will answer this question by saying it is based on experience. And by this I mean personal experience. For example, as I said, the best I have ever felt in my life was when I didn't take naps. And that's the strongest I've ever felt in my life, because I've never taken naps. So don't take naps for that reason. And you, my dear friend, I love you, great guy, great patriot, but you gotta listen to what I say, because I'm telling some very big truths. I will predict the counter arguments and counter them, because I know what the counter arguments will be, and I will also counter them. So the first one was my friend's counter argument, which was basically something he pulled out of his ass. It was like, but science says it's scientific. It is science proven that if you eat a lot of carbohydrates and then eat also another big meal, like 300 grams of meat and 300 grams of pasta, you get sick. It's because of the carbohydrates which make you reluctant, which make you sleepy, not sick. Okay. I have also ingested hundreds of grams of carbohydrates in a meal. Even more than that, guys. When I was a kid, I used to be obese because I was eating 1 kilogram of bread per day, 500 grams at 8, 9 years old. So I understand that that's true, but that doesn't justify you it's not a justification for taking naps. It is not, objectively. So it's not that, okay, we can even accept, for the sake of the argument, that science, by the way, science, I'm not going to say science is not important, but science believes you should wear coats. So do 2 + 2. Science believes you should wear coats. If you wear coats, you will not get sick. The people who wear coats get sick the most. Why? Because their immune systems can't even take 2 degrees less than usual, and when that happens, they get cold. They get a cold, and they get sick. If you don't wear coats, you're fine. So the validity of science when it comes to those studies needs to be questioned. We need to understand whether the goal of those scientists is to genuinely do research or if it is to mislead the populace. Okay, so that's the first thing. But let's just say it's true. It's not a justification from taking naps, sir. It is not. Okay, you're sleepy, and that's true, and I agree with you, because I've experienced this loads of times. Because if nobody eats more carbohydrates than I do. Probably. When I am really going after them. But that's not a justification, is it? It is not. So that's the first argument, and we have countered it completely. Oh, but no. Science says, okay, I'm fine, it says that. Let's just say it's true, because I want to do you a favor, and let's just assume it's true. But that is not a justification for taking naps. It is not. The other counter argument would be, well, you should really sleep more, because it's good for you to sleep more, because you feel better. I don't totally agree with this. I think there is a limit. When I sleep 10 or 11 hours, which happens very rarely, I feel shit. This is true. I feel like shit. When I sleep for 10 or 11 hours, I genuinely feel bad. Like, I go as far as this. I feel better when I sleep 4 hours than 11 hours or 10 hours. I think the maximum you should sleep per day is 8 hours and a half. 9. Really. Let's just help the big sleepers. But sleeping 11 hours? Like, imagine this. Especially young people. I don't get this from teenagers, because they're like, I slept for 7 hours, then I slept another 3 hours in the afternoon. Bro, I'd feel like shit. Sleeping 10 hours, 11 hours? That's crazy. That's crazy. I think there is a maximum. More than 8 hours, too much. It's too much sleeping, it's too much sleep. Needs to be cut down. Frankly, I feel like we feel best maybe when we sleep 8 hours. But even here, it depends. Because I would say I sleep on average in the week maybe 6 hours, and in the weekend 8 hours. So let's just say I sleep 6.5, 7 hours. Let's just say it like that. There is a friend of mine who's the guy I'm dissing in this video who sleeps less than me. And I used to sleep as little as he does now. In some cases. And even in those cases, I would have agreed with what I'm saying now. Let me just be clear. But frankly, when I sleep 8 hours, I don't feel very great. I feel better with 6, 7 hours. I don't know, it's just me. But as I said, I'm Dr. AD. So every person's opinion is important, and it is worth the same. But we need to remember, I have got a certificate which says that I'm the world's most accurate doctor. Flawless track record, impeccable. So if I were a normal person, I'd listen to such immaculate pieces of advice. To sum up and to wrap up, because I feel like I don't want to make this video so long, but to wrap up here, I want to say this. To my friend who I love, great guy, I'll say this. Stop pulling science out of your ass in order to justify cowardice. No, taking naps is not justifiable. because you eat a lot of pasta at lunch. I used to eat pasta at lunch. I know it feels bad. I know it feels like you're lazy after that, but you don't need to sleep. There is no need. Okay? Let's just be clear about that. So, get science out of the equation and stop being a pussy. Second argument, you need to sleep more. Well, if you sleep 1 hour per night, okay. But if you sleep like 6 hours on average, or even 5, there is no need to sleep more in the afternoon and fuck up your whole day. I think that's just true. Inversely and concurrently, I would say this. It's better to sleep in the afternoon than do nothing. Okay, if you sleep instead of watching reels, it's fine. If you sleep instead of working, training, or doing anything important, that's inexcusable. So there you have it. Another video from Dr. 80. I didn't have my magic jacket. I only had this t-shirt, which is white, but behind it there is a very important phrase written, which is Christ is King, Jesus is King to be exact, which is true. I totally endorse Christianity and Jesus Christ as a Christian myself, but this video wasn't about that. So to my friend and everybody, have a good day, and I've debunked all the lies that have been spread about sleep, about sleeping in the afternoon and naps, which are absolutely and utterly disgusting. They are a shame. They are unforgivable, unacceptable, and inexcusable in any way, shape, form, and under any circumstance. Let me be absolutely clear about this. So this is my sentence. This is Dr. 80's opinion. Listen to Dr. 80 if you want to get healthier. Because trust me, all the people that listen to me have gotten healthier since. So I would frankly put my money on Dr. 80. Not your money, like you don't have to give me money. Hold on, I'm not saying this. Just, I would trust Dr. 80. That's the bottom line of that sentence. It's a metaphoric sentence. You don't need to give me money. No, it's not about giving me money. It's not about coming here with a $200 bill and take an appointment. No, it's not about that. It's about another thing. It's about putting trust in a doctor whose track record is impeccable. So thanks to all of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't wear coats for the love of God. And please, and for your health especially, please do not take naps and use science as an excuse. Because even my friend who's very based, very great, very interesting, one of the greatest people on earth, it is such a loss of aura to try to throw science into this equation in order to justify cowardice and pussiness. Let's just be totally real here. Don't take naps and I will love you even more. But I love you anyway, so don't worry. Take care, guys. I love you and see you soon. Bye-bye. Take care.